Welcome back. You're now officially halfway through our Learning Differences MOOC. So far, we've covered two constructs of learning differences, working memory and motivation. This week, we open up the first of two units on executive function.
Executive function is often called the air traffic control system in your brain. It's what you call upon to set goals, create a plan, take steps to achieve that goal, and monitor your progress or adjust the plan as needed until reaching your goal.
The good news is, these are learned skills, so as teachers, you're tremendously influential in setting up your students for success. This first week, we hope to provide you with a broad overview of executive functioning skills. And then next week, we'll break this skill set down, diving deeper into 6 aspects of executive function.
Before we go further into depth, let's hear from our experts.
What is executive function?
Yeah, I think of executive functioning as pretty much the prefrontal cortex, so sometimes we go, oh. And it's the previewing and organizing. It's sort of like the analogy's been made to air traffic control, what's coming through. And
the purpose of these is actually to prepare learners for learning. So what are the sorts of things that need to be in place in order to create the setting for effective learning?
Executive function, as I think about it, are those hierarchical sort of processes by which we go through the day, and it's probably innate for most of us that are probably taking part in this course because we're successful. But for many kids, it's not. And how do we get these kids to help them push through the learning process and thinking about the metacognitive strategies and things that they have to bring through to actually be successful?
What do executive functioning skills look like?
it either goes right to action or there's a little pause. Is this the right thing to do right now? What will be the implications if I do it before it goes to motor? So it's sort of adding that extra little step in there. And the self-monitoring is partly about, did I pause? Did I preview? Do I need to pause? Do I need to preview? How effective was what I just did? So both regulating oneself and paying attention to, which is a bit of metacognition, how effective was I in the choices that I just made?
It is these high-level skills that aren't specific to any one content area or modality, right? But there are these high-level things like planning and organization and goal-directed behavior. Under that umbrella, people talk about impulse control and things like that. When it comes to things like planning and organization and self-monitoring and goal-directed behavior, I think one of the most exciting things about that aspect of learner differences is, first of all, we see it just naturally in classrooms. You'll just see differences in people's ability to plan and organize.
Great. An example is so many of our students do their homework at home, but then never turn it into the teacher because it gets stuffed in the backpack and they forget to take it out. And that's some example of executive functioning kinds of pieces. So it could be how a student organizes their desk, how they approach their work, their ability to manage impulsivity, to stop and preview. If I do this, then this is going to happen.
How can I work with my students to develop executive functioning skills?
At one of our schools, we have a basic mantra that we use across everything. Make good choices, get more choices, make poor choices, get fewer choices.
Executive functions are skills. They can be acquired. And I think the old way of thinking about them as something you have in your brain led us to a completely misguided and not particularly useful view in education, which is, okay, the kid has poor organizational skills because they have executive function deficits. It's this sort of circular logic. But now we know that there's a lot of kids just come in and they haven't acquired the skills that some other kids have acquired sort of at home, in other environments, and that you can teach them directly. And if you teach them directly, the kids, not surprisingly, perform better tasks of executive functions, and you see meaningful, measurable improvements in their learning.
This week, we encourage you to check out the activity for some immediately actionable steps you can take in your classroom. Let us know how they worked or what you did to improve upon them in the discussion forum or on Twitter. Be sure to use our hashtag #AllLearn.
And we look forward to learning with you.